Record there. Oh, YouTube sees us connecting. Oh, I see us over there. I see me pointing at the camera. So we must have done that correctly, Jeremy.
Okay, good. Because you are we alive now? Or are we going?
We should be live right now.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, you want me to introduce it, or you want to?
Oh shit! Welcome to the Create Invent podcast live stream extravaganza with me, Pat Regan, and my lovely co-host Jeremy Cook over here. How are you doing, Jeremy?
That's right. Yeah, I am Jeremy Cook, and I am here. So, I guess, yeah, I'm doing pretty well. What about yourself? What
I'm
did you
doing all
just
right, I think. I
Okay,
feel like I'm doing all right.
good, good. Well, before we
I
get into
rotated
things,
my office a little bit here. I don't know if everybody's going to notice that.
okay,
About 20 degrees
Y-
turned. I don't.
yeah, yeah. Well, I see
I
we
hope
don't see
that's
the
okay.
we don't see the Butter What logo anymore, which I'd like to ask you about
Oh,
pretty
I see
soon.
it. It's over.
Okay,
It's you just can't see it because it's being recorded and
okay.
it's going out to Twitter. Twitter,
All right.
YouTube,
Maybe YouTube. Okay. But
YouTube.
before we get into that, why don't we go ahead and take our coffee break early today? We'll give a shout out to our Patreons, our top five Patreons, so we say, but
Well,
not
I
really.
Jeremy. I
Oh
thought
yeah,
Patreons
that's
was your.
right.
I thought that was your shtick. I thought you did
That
that on purpose.
no, that's a good point, Pat. Because one of our loyal listeners, who I won't mention that person's name, that person said that I needed to say patron, not Patreon, because people are patrons, not Patreons. So thank you for that input, and we will take that under advisement, as they say, I guess. So
I'm okay with
any
that.
anyway, let's go ahead and talk. Let's go ahead and thank our top five patrons.
Uh-oh. I was laughing at what he was about to say there, and Jeremy has stopped moving. Oh, and he stopped moving on YouTube too. That's not good. I'm gonna have to keep you guys occupied while Jeremy's gone. He is doing what finger is that? I can't even do what he's doing. I can't even imitate him. But Jeremy's gonna thank our top five patrons because they're patronizing us, and it's very much appreciated.
I can see you.
Uh-oh. You're starting to move, Jeremy. He was starting to move. Uh oh, Jeremy's in the lobby and coming back in.
All right, I am back. Am I back for
Hello,
you?
second Jeremy Cook. There are, there are three of us here now. Two of them are you. Uh oh, now we got two of them. Well, one of them. One of them's me. I apologize for the technical difficulties, everyone. Both y'all out there in YouTube land. Will it help if I pause my upload? It should not. Low data mode. That's a new thing that they have up there. Well, this is trouble. I am reading the chat over here on YouTube. If anybody wants to ask me anything, or if you want to ask anything about Jeremy, and I'll make something up if I don't know the answer, that would probably be okay. Yeah, he's frozen over you. He's frozen. Oh, here he comes again. He's coming back.
All right, I am back. Right, Pat?
Are you really back?
I hope
I
so.
see you.
All right. Well,
I hear you too.
I closed everything out, so hopefully, all right. Can we assume we're good for now?
I'm going to assume I've been assuming we're good every time.
All
So,
right. All right. Well, let's see. Maybe pause my upload. Does that help?
yep, I've been doing that
Okay.
every time you come back.
All right. All right. So anyway, let's give our shout out to our top five patrons, our top five patrons. That is, first of all, Carl. Michael Sizer, Raptor, creatively spelled, Stuart Morrow, Brian Moses, and Positive Waves, which is roughly five, plus or minus five. It's five, I'd say, right,
I
Pat?
counted 5, but I'm afraid I missed one. I've
Okay.
had trouble with my fingers working. I got a
Yeah,
little
no,
confused.
I understand. So what's our first order of business today, Pat?
Are we going in order of the document, or am I picking something? Or I throwing a dart at the dartboard?
Well, I think well, let me ask you this first of all. You know, you talked
Sure.
about the Butterwad logo. I don't see it. Apparently, it's in the recording. But what's going on with that? Because you guys haven't been recording that podcast recently, have you?
Well, we haven't. We kind of took a little break. We were going to switch from 4 episodes a month to one better episode a month. And then, we did that right around Thanksgiving or Christmas or something. And then Brian decided he needed to get shoulder surgery. So we didn't record, during that.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we're probably ready to start recording again.
does he have like a robot arm now or something, or what is
No,
he?
it's just a regular arm. They cut a
Oh,
tendon or a muscle or something up in the the part that lets you do this.
yeah. I guess your ball joint.
He
I
told the
guess.
doctor, he said, when I do this, it hurts.
Okay, and you're rotating
So yeah,
your
and
shoulder.
the
It looks
doctor
like.
said, so don't do that. But then he cut him open anyway. So
Okay. All right. So you guys are taking a medical leave of absence, I guess, and you guys are
ooh, I like
coming
that.
toward the end of that.
Yeah, but I'll bet we'll be recording one. I'm gonna say this month, but when I say this month, I mean in the next 4 weeks. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, this
We're
month,
probably in the
whenever.
middle of a month by now.
Yeah, it's actually March 16th according to my calendar or my
We're in the
computer.
second half
Second half of the month,
of
technically.
March.
So,
I heard we changed our clocks last
oh
last
yeah,
weekend.
that's brutal. It's I really don't like it. I guess it doesn't
Do
really
you
affect
really
you.
not? What is it?
Well, because
I'm
then
tired. I'm ready for my nap tonight already. I
So
was.
are you speaking of that? Are you on a traditional sleep schedule, or are you on a
I'm
nocturnal
not that
basis these
far
days?
off, I guess, because I'm gonna go to sleep right when we hang up tonight.
Okay.
Is my guess.
And
In
we're
a
recording
like
this. It's 8:22 Eastern time, and where you are, it's I guess 7:22.
7:22 precisely. It says over here.
So you're kind of like on a little child schedule now.
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, yeah.
Okay. You know, you might
Yeah,
ask.
when I was a kid, I would watch Buck Rogers at about this time of day, like when I was 5 or so, and then I would
Okay.
have to go to bed.
Okay. Well, that's
And I
good.
know for sure that was Buck Rogers.
Okay. Yeah. I don't remember that one, but you know,
Oh, you shouldn't. It was really bad. It was not good TV at all.
was it
But I didn't care.
calling back to this another episode? Do you think Buck Rogers was better than Zardoz, or do you think that Zardoz was a better?
I have the trouble. I still haven't seen Zardoz, so I don't know
Oh,
for
okay.
sure. It's got to be lower budget though, right? Because
Oh, you would think so,
I mean,
because he's
Sean
got
Connery was famous
yeah,
and
he
not on
was.
TV.
He was, and then he did quite a few questionable movies, but we've talked about that before. What
We
about?
really did. I was going to mention something we already mentioned, so I'm not going to mention it
Yeah, we'll leave
again.
that. We'll leave that to the archives, I guess. Is that, yeah, so you could,
Yeah, we have archives.
yeah, we do. We
We've
can.
got 78 episodes in the back catalog waiting for everybody to watch.
Do we?
I don't think it's 78, but it's getting close.
It is close
It's
to that. I think it's that's because I think last one with retro built games,
yes,
that was number 64, and I remember that because I was thinking, oh, like Nintendo 64, that's really appropriate for
it
him.
really is.
But that's just a coincidence. So, but yeah, it might be 72 actually, since we split up some of the episodes.
Yeah, it depends on how you count them.
Yeah,
You could cheat and count some of the multi-part ones as multiple.
yeah, for sure.
But
So
60 some interviews, right? We could say.
yeah, interviews, if we count interviews with each other, I guess.
Why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
why not? Why not? Well, Matt, Pat, oh, speaking of that, we talked about, we talked about how many um, names there are for Patrick. Packy, Pat, whatever.
Oh yeah.
Does anybody ever call you Rick? Is that a
Never.
thing?
Never.
Is
That's never happened. As
is
far
that
as I know, that's illegal.
is that so? That's not conceivable. You can't call Patrick
I don't.
Rick.
I don't think it is. I don't
Okay,
think it is. I think only if you're Richard are you allowed to be called Rick.
okay.
But
Unless
I
you're
don't know.
named
I
unless you're
yeah.
named Rick,
Th-
there might be a
Yeah. If
guy.
you're named Rick, well, that's fine too. That's been more popular now. I mean, I don't know now. I don't know when it started being more popular, but things that used to be nicknames are now actual proper given names
Oh,
for
that's interesting.
folks.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah, well, anyway, so so
I hear
uh
you've been selling a lot of Easy Fans, Jeremy.
so yeah, so I have these little boards. They're quite simple, really. They're pretty much just a transistor, flyback diode, and a and a resistor. So you can hook these up to a Raspberry Pi, and it makes it easy to start a fan up with it. And uh, and this was a great thing because the Raspberry Pi 4s were getting so hot, and I guess people wanted them, and it's just been a nice little product, and I say that figuratively and literally because I mean, they can fit on the tip of your finger, and I think that's probably what makes them somewhat popular because they're, pretty much you can just put them in line with the I/O plus power and ground, and they do a good job. I've sold quite a
And
few.
we could jam them in the case with the Pi, probably. They
Yeah,
probably fit in
exactly.
there.
So yeah, I've been selling quite a few, and I actually got a new ordered another 200 of them from my supplier, and that's always a little bit nerve wracking because you got to put out the money for it. It's like, well, maybe sales are going to dry up right when I get this order, but so far I've gotten you know s- orders have continued, and that's been a good thing. I mean, not like they've been increasing or decreasing, but I will say though, kind of to what you alluded to, toward the beginning of the year, it did seem like there was a bit of an increase, which I just wonder if that indicates that maybe Raspberry Pis, like the single port computers, are actually becoming available. I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on that, Pat?
Well, I do. I've been curious. I pay attention to a lot of us on YouTube and our blogs and stuff make a little bit of money off of affiliate links in our articles and whatnot. And I've been curious about the folks where a lot of channels on YouTube are still pushing the Raspberry Pi stuff really hard, even when the Pis that I paid, 30 or 40 bucks for 2 years ago are now on Amazon for 100, 120, 130 bucks. Like I've been wondering, are they still making a lot of affiliate sales on the Pi accessories?
Yeah, it's an
Or
interesting question. I don't know. I mean, it's I guess the interesting thing is even when like this there was almost no sales of Raspberry Pis. I mean, I guess not no, but anyway, it's still I still got a decent amount of business because I guess it was just out there. You know what I mean?
yeah, people still
So
own Pis. But what I've been wondering about is the cheapskate like me that pays 35 bucks for a Pi and I'm excited to use it. I don't want to pay I don't know how many dollars for an easy fan or a $20 for a case or a but the guy who pays 140 bucks for a Pi, he's not going to mind as much paying a few bucks for an easy
hmm,
fan. Due to
that's
so I wonder if you
that's an
sell more
interest
accessories when the Pis are expensive.
that's an interesting question because yeah, that could be. I hadn't really thought about that, but yeah, my Easy Fan, which sells for more than a Raspberry Pi Zero, I mean, you could put that on
Raspberry
Raspberry.
Pi Zeros are like 30 bucks now, Jeremy.
Oh well, the list
Than
price
what
of five
they used to
dollars.
be at Micro Center when they were 5 bucks. I remember.
Yeah,
I miss those days.
but yeah, I mean, I guess you think about that if everything's gotten more expensive, then the Easy Fan 2 looks less expensive. But at the same time, then you think, well, it's my labor for putting this in. It's like, well, have I actually am I actually getting paid less too? Which I guess is true, but that's a whole economic argument that perhaps we don't get
No,
into here, really.
it's too complicated. You don't want to get too complicated. But You're talking about the labor of putting the Easy Fan into my Pi, though, in part of that. Am I understanding that right?
Well, no, I mean, I've got to, I got to package it up. I got to whatever, which I guess isn't
Okay.
that hard. But I did go through a decent amount of labor to actually design this and stuff. And now it'd be a
Yeah.
lot easier for me because I've designed a lot more circuit boards. But that was actually one of my first boards that I made, and at the time it was a
Do,
bit of a challenge for sure.
now, do you feel like you've recouped your payment for the time that you spent in the design phase and the initial orders and getting everything worked out, and now it's just kind of.
Yeah, exactly. It's I do feel like at this point it's kind of on autopilot now. Whether or not that continues or whatever, that's questionable. I mean, obviously it's
But so now it's the easy money compared to the first few sales.
yes,
I don't
compared to
want
the
to.
first few sales, it definitely is easy money. In fact, at first I had these as a surface mount or a through hole mount component, and even after that I was doing like all the soldering myself, and that was more like an hard hard fan money, I guess, if that's
Uh oh. The Raspberry Pi deities did not like whatever he was saying about the hard fan money. I have an easy fan board over here
anyway.
somewhere. Are you back yet, Jeremy? Uh oh. I see him moving. He's looking. Uh oh. It's just me, everybody. Is that fun? Feel like I should have something to show you guys, but I haven't been making a lot of things lately. Everything that I've been doing is right where you can't see it off the camera. Here comes Jeremy. We have to click to let him back in, and we have to remember to pause his upload,
All right,
or
am I
we're in
am I
trouble.
back?
You are back.
All right, good. Well,
You
sorry
are
about
back and
that.
in higher resolution than ever.
I don't know I don't know what's up with my internet. It's been frustrating for sure. But
It's the weather.
well, one thing I've been thinking about with the Easy Fan though, I could in theory, you could use these on an Arduino, you could use these on an RP2040, you could use it on anything like that, and that's something I haven't like really promoted or made a video on, and I really need to do that. It's been something I've been kind of
Well,
procrastinating
you know what's
on.
more important than just making people aware that it could be used for these things. If you get Arduino and ESP32 and things into the search terms, people searching for things besides Raspberry Pis will be making it to your Tindy page
Hmm,
for
that's a
sales.
that's a good point. Yeah, hadn't thought about that, but yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a very simple thing. You could do it yourself, and I think even the video I have shows you how to do it yourself, how to make with a 2N2222 transistor. But it's just kind of the convenience factor that some people just want something they can plug and play, which is fine with me, obviously. So um, yeah, so that's my experience these days, I guess. So
Well, I'm glad you're doing a good job at the Easy Fan 2s. Is it two? It's two,
yeah,
right?
it's
Correct?
Easy Fan too. So the first one was the through hole component. I guess I could have just called it
Yep.
the Easy Fan, but Easy
And
Fan 2 has a nice ring.
the folks at the PCB manufacturer, they're soldering the parts on for you now?
Yes, they do. So that was another challenge is trying to get everything. So I mean that was a huge challenge to begin with, making sure I could solder everything correctly, they could get the components, etc. And it's just been one learning step after another, but it's been it's been a good thing. I think I have recouped my money, but I would say if I was designing it today, I will recoup it much much faster because I could design it much faster.
Well, your your hourly rate when you are bad at something is a lot lower than your hourly rate when you're good at something.
That's
You know,
very
I don't pay the
true.
guy $100 an hour to learn how to I don't have a specific idea in mind, but you probably get the gist of that. There's a
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. I guess the thing that's maybe challenging for me is that what I do for a living is kind of like tech journalism about like making things, whatever. So I am always learning. That's like my job is to learn and write about it. And so if hopefully I can price that in, but it's kind of like it's kind of hard sometimes. And I guess one thing about this is with a project like this, like I wrote about it for embedded computing, I believe, which actually I get some traffic out there, which is awesome. And
good.
yeah, and actually kind of it's funny, maybe just to segue into this or whatever. I've been doing a like an instructional video series for them on the Raspberry Pi, but to begin with, it was going to be the Raspberry Pi, like the single board computer, but it kind of got shifted into the RP2040 just because the Raspberry Pi single board computer is not available. And that's something I
Yep.
wasn't necessarily comfortable with to begin with, but now that they kind of, I feel like I kind of got shoehorned into it, but now that I am, it's like, oh, this is actually pretty awesome. So
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
great.
Yeah, it is great. It works out nicely. And basically for all these classes, I'm having to learn how to do certain things. And like at first, I was getting my just the time I was having to put into it to do an instructional class was very high. But as you do more and learn more about it, it becomes a little bit more reasonable time wise. Which I guess that's the case with everything. And the good thing is they renewed us for another series of episodes. So that's
You're
good.
picked up for season 2.
Yeah, that's exactly.
That's exciting. You didn't get canceled.
I didn't get canceled, not yet. Although the first episode of that season, I had some internet problems, kind of like we had today, and that was a bit nerve wracking. But I think it's going to be forgiven. So,
Good.
I think they've moved past this. Hopefully. So
And are these live classes where there are, I was going to say children, but
yeah,
because that's what I think of when I think of classes, but there's participants
yeah.
interacting with
There's
you.
yeah, there are live classes. I guess the thing that was a little bit difficult about the last episode was, I supposed to do it for a certain amount of time. I think it's like nominally an hour, but you're allowed to end it a little bit early. But you have a certain amount of time built in, and then I had that glitch, so I'm reconnecting. I'm a little bit frazzled to be honest, but I felt like I held it together pretty well. But I get down, I'm like, okay, the people are gonna have questions because they usually do, and nobody had any questions. So I was just
That's
kind
either
of,
good or bad. That means you either did a really good job or nobody was paying attention.
yeah. Well, hopefully means I did a good job, but I was hoping for something I could babble on about. Not I shouldn't say
Yeah.
babble on about, but something I could answer. And the good thing is I had some kind of subjects that I thought I could kind of use as filler, if that was the case, and it was. But it was just I was just having to fill in more than I was anticipating because usually I get some questions, and that time I didn't.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's got to be different not being in person. I've never taught any seriously important classes, but I've taught a few classes at our makerspace, and in person, you get to see everybody's faces and see what people get excited about or not excited about or what they look confused about.
well,
It's got to
yeah,
be a lot different here on the internet.
it is a little bit different, and I guess that's one reason. Like many episodes ago, I remember I thought, well, maybe I could do this. When Max left, I thought, I could do this series by myself. I'll just give it a try, see how it works. But it is not much fun doing it just like without like a partner to have things to
Oh
bounce
yeah,
off
it's
of.
always better to teach a class with a lovely assistant.
Yeah,
My lovely assistant, if Andy's watching, thank you for being my lovely assistant at so many classes at the Makerspace.
yeah. I'll say I've mostly gotten
Andy's a
used to
good
it.
guy.
Well, yeah, good job, Andy. I'll say in that context, I've mostly gotten used to it because I have a script. I know what I'm doing. I'm doing some demos, whatever. But when you log off for a while and come back, and you're not quite sure if you're broadcasting or not, that is tough.
Well, we get to cheat. Here, if you open up YouTube while we're live streaming, you can keep an eye on what you were doing 20 seconds ago.
Okay, I think that
So
would
you
be
can know if you're
confusing.
moving.
That'd be confusing for me. I just keep mine off screen and let you worry about that.
Well, I do
Um,
my best. It's a good thing we said that because I just looked over to make sure there were,
yeah. Well,
there's chat over there.
speaking of that, is there is a link up that you can log in. Correct? Is that right,
There
Pat?
ought, there sure ought to be. I don't know where to click to check without screwing things up, but yes, I deliberately pasted a link to the Riverside
Okay.
chat so you can come and video talk to us.
Yeah. So if you want to come talk to us, all you need is the Chrome browser, and who knows, maybe Firefox would work. I don't. I'm not going to vouch for
I
that.
think it'll yell at you. If it's not going to work, it'll tell you. It'll say
Okay.
no and kick
Yeah.
you out.
So if you want to if you want to do that, we would love to talk to you. I mean, we got. I think
Especially
we can.
Jeremy. He told me he's very lonely and would like to have another friend.
Hey, so
Is
speaking of that, Pat, this is
uh-oh.
an interesting story. So I texted my cousin the other day to he works for Chick-fil-A, got the corporate office or something, and I texted him to complain that there's only one size milkshake now, and
Really?
asked him if I
What size
gave
is it?
it's like because my wife said she wanted a small milkshake, and I'm like, okay, I get a large milkshake, and like we only have one size, so I'm like, well, we'll just get one, and it was like a
One
milkshake
size
like
fits all.
yeah, it was like a milkshake in between the two sizes, and I was like, so I didn't have any milkshake. That's the end of it.
Well,
That's
I'm sorry, Jeremy.
but what happened was, so I texted my cousin, right, and so I texted him something that was like, yeah, haha, just tell him my name, you'll get free fries too, and anyway, so I texted him back. I'm like, said something a little bit more, it was personal, is doesn't sound right, but it was something that not like tawdry. What's the word? Not.
Well, if you tell us what you said, I'll give it a description.
I said something like, "Oh, I see the reunion's going to be at whatever. Let's just say Buffalo. It's not there, but you know." And it's like, "Oh yeah, who is this?" I'm like, but he was like, he was conversing with me, and I'm thinking like, well, that's interesting because I could just text some random person if I was lonely, and maybe I'd make a new friend.
You
You know,
could. Well, yeah. You ever? I don't text very often, but can you imagine texting a wrong number and just having a conversation by mistake?
that'd be weird because I feel like
I could see me being confused if somebody said the wrong thing to me, out of the blue. I'm like, oh, that must be Dave. That sounds
right
like something Dave would say.
because I
I
feel
don't
like
know Dave's number.
caller ID really killed the fun in prank calling people, but I'd never
Yeah.
like
Oh,
prank.
but do the text messages come up with somebody's name if you don't have
Well,
it in your phone?
I don't know. I don't
I
think
don't
so.
either. The only messages I get texted that are not from people I know are like legitimate spam and scams and things. So they're not going to have a name. They wouldn't.
Right? Yeah, I don't know. So
So
um,
call in and let us know how phones work because we're old and
yeah,
I don't talk to new. But my phone. Do you keep your phone on vibrate, Jeremy?
I think so, but I'm not sure I have it like vibrating correctly because most of the time I miss my calls.
I keep my
So
phone on actual silent always. I don't answer any noises that come in on my phone. Therefore, if it's important, they'll call my wife.
yeah, that's a good policy.
I think so.
Um, yeah. Well, I guess another thing we were thinking of. One thing I thought we wanted to talk about was maybe some 3D. Actually, no, I want to talk about like new. I want to
Well,
talk
I
about
want to know.
new
I know what I
keyboard.
want to talk about. I
All
want to
right.
know what that thing lit up behind your head is.
Oh, you asked me about this because
I
you told me
did.
before the show. You're like, oh, is that your circuit boards? And I was like, well, no,
Yeah,
it's not.
you had a
Right,
death bed for circuit boards a while back. I thought that was it, but I
right.
can't quite see what. I
So
can't quite
so
make it out from here.
so I'll try to describe it for you. Like what you're looking at is this illuminated thing, and then to the left of there is a kind of a duller red light that you can't really see very well.
I
Now
see
the
like
red,
6 lights.
yeah, okay, those six lights, that's where my circuit board deathbed. I don't know. That's
Graveyard.
few. It's trophy case. Trophy case.
Okay.
That's where my PCB trophy case is. You know, the PCBs that I've designed in the past, whatever. And but that's not what you saw. You saw to the right of that, and you probably can't see it from back there, but it's a mountain bike jumping over a like a maybe it's a motorcycle jumping off a ramp, and somebody's photographing it, and there's a car, and there's some other stuff. And if you were able to zoom in and read it, it says Jeremy Cook on it, and that's actually the first article I ever wrote that I got paid for Wired UK, the
Oh,
United Kingdom.
nice.
Yeah,
Look
and
at
it's
you. And that's a is that a paper article?
yes, that's a paper article. So yeah.
I've never been in print, Jeremy.
Oh, yeah. But
I
that,
don't
that's
believe.
that's the first article I ever got paid for as far as
I mean,
a
like I was in my
print article.
yearbook, I think.
Okay.
Like I was
well,
in there, if that counts as print.
That's good. I mean, it is print, or you could print something on your. But yeah, it was like a video that a band called OK Go did, where they have like some sort of a Rube Goldberg contraption in it, and I don't know. I'm not sure I actually interviewed OK Go, but seems like it was cool. It was awesome to see my name in print. In fact, I couldn't find that article anywhere here, and I just happened to be in California for vacation. For just happened to be there, and I saw it at a newsstand, and I bought it. And anyway,
And
that was
now it's framed and
now
lit.
it's framed.
It's
Yeah, and
lit.
lit.
How did you light it?
It is. That's just just a clamp light
Oh, is there
for
a
it.
lamp in front of it?
Yeah, just lamp in front of it.
Well,
I
that's
just
smart.
I just put my filming lamp up to it. But actually, that may not be the one that I bought in California, because I think what happened was my wife tried to get it framed for me, and the company actually like ripped it or something, and I think they somehow had to get
Oh,
another one
no.
for me, which that all worked out okay. And it's
Did you
probably
sign
not.
it?
Did I sign it?
Yeah.
No, I should have. That's
You still maybe you still can.
I thought about that like when I'm trying to think. I had seemed like I had something in the Magpie. That was probably the last one. Oh, Pat. So
Yes.
I had something published in the Magpie. I don't remember what it was exactly. The
I've heard
Raspberry
of
Pi
this.
magazine. Wasn't something I wrote, but it was a project I did, if I remember correctly. But
This sounds
but
familiar to me. I think I remember you being excited about this.
okay, yeah, I was excited about it. I was very excited. But when it got published was like June 2020. So I called Barnes and Noble, and I said, well, hey, do you guys have Magpie? And like, we don't have any magazines. I'm like, what do you mean you don't have any magazines? Like, we don't. They said we don't have any magazines because it was the whole pandemic thing. Things were shutting down, and
Yeah.
apparently that one didn't get circulated as much as some other magazines or magazines prior to
Does
and
that mean you
after.
were not able to acquire a copy?
I was not able to acquire a copy,
Have you
unfortunately.
tweeted about this? Have you said, does anybody have a copy that I could buy?
You know
And
what, Pat?
explain why.
It
I
was
bet
like
somebody would give
it
you
was
a
like
good
it was
deal.
like 2 years ago at this point. So I need to. I don't
People
actually
have
know.
collections of magazines, Jeremy.
I guess what I'm saying is I don't remember if I actually got the magazine or not. I may have like
Yeah.
bought it on
And you
Amazon
don't
or
even know
something.
for sure if you're in there. You didn't get to see it, maybe.
I think I was in the PDF, which isn't as exciting.
Oh, I have a printer, Jeremy. We'll print that PDF.
print,
You'll be
print
all
that
set.
print that bad boy. Yeah, that'd be good.
Hot off the presses.
Yeah, but anyways, that's a long story. But yeah, somebody, a relative of mine, mistakenly said. I think she said that I wrote for Time magazine. I think she was you know, quite impressed with me. I guess, and
I
maybe,
would be too.
but I don't write for Time magazine. And I thought about it, and I was like, I will never write for Time magazine because it's not a magazine anymore.
Oh, is that true?
I don't think so. I don't think it's a print magazine anymore.
No. Well, yeah, but do they not call it? What do they call it then?
I guess they call it
Website. Time website.
Time website. It's a sign of the times right there.
It's weird. This is weirding me out, Jeremy. I don't know what to do about this.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's yeah. I feel like when I started doing this, writing about technology and such, I feel like it was more common to be a print journalist, but now it's all, people would be like, oh, was it, do a lot of websites, which I did, but now it's like almost exclusively websites.
Oh, of
I
course. I didn't even know you could buy paper anymore.
well, what what did kind of make me slightly annoyed? I don't want to say annoyed, but just disappointed. As I got a couple magazines in a couple articles in EE Times, like the Electrical Engineering Journal, which I thought was just awesome because it's maybe not as doesn't have the circulation maybe as some other stuff, but it's very legitimate place to be
Yeah.
published. I think. The thing is, I don't know that you can actually buy these anywhere. I think you have to be a member. So I was
You
never
never
able to
acquired them.
never acquired them. So you know, and that
Well,
was
now I know what to get you for your birthday.
oh, that would be very sweet of you. So
I have no idea how to do that, but we'll.
that was about the time before everything happened with Twitter. It's like, okay, I'm publishing EE Times. I've been
Like, to
publishing
be a member, do you have to be an electrical engineer to get in? Or is it just
I
you pay a fee? Or is it automatic if you
I
have the
guess
credentials?
you have to. I think you just have to pay a fee. I don't know for sure, but I got published there. I got published in Popular Science and a couple other places. Like I was like, okay, this is about as legitimate as I'm ever going to be. So I applied to Twitter to get a verified handle when that was a thing, and
Yeah.
and they considered it, and roughly 2 minutes later said I wasn't famous enough. So
Oh,
you
two
know,
minutes.
I don't
Geez, the
know.
time I sent it to them, it took like a week before they said anything. Or I don't know if it was a week, but it was forever.
So does that mean you're more legitimate than me, or am I
I
more?
don't know. I don't know
I
what
don't
it
know.
means.
You could take that
Well,
either
it
way.
depends on when you put in the request, too. Everything that was always different every few years.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't. It might not have been 2 minutes, but it was a short amount of time.
Yep.
So, but um,
I've been
what?
doing some plumbing this week,
Oh yeah.
Jeremy.
What have you been
This year.
plumbing?
Yeah, my espresso machine sprung a leak.
Oh yeah.
It's plumbing. It's copper, brass, or something tubings with fittings and compression fittings and things. And the pump in there broke. I had all kinds of things break the
Really?
last few months in
So did
there.
you get it fixed?
Well, I didn't get it fixed, Jeremy. I'll have you know.
Okay.
I
Did you
fixed it.
fix
I
it?
had to order replacement parts to put in there, but I got it done.
So
I was a I was a little scared because one of the things is a water valve, and I there was like a cheap like a $6 kit I could order that has all the new parts that go inside the valve. But I looked at this teardown and it expands out like this. It's like this like 18 pieces in there, and I said, I don't know if I could get those back in there for sure. And I want to drink coffee. So, I
right.
don't want to order the parts, take it apart, and realize, well, crap. Now I can't have coffee while I wait for an assembled part to arrive a week later. I didn't know what I would do, so I had to get the assembled part. I felt
Okay.
like I was cheating a little bit there.
That's okay. Well, how much is a espresso machine? If
Well, I have the second cheapest real espresso machine, and they're about 800 bucks.
wow, that's a lot of money.
Well, it's not too bad. I've had it for almost 9 years
Okay.
now.
I
I've been
not
using it every day.
I'm not trying to throw. I
No,
was
no,
just
no,
I was
no.
just I just thought that's a lot of money. But if you feel like
But
it
it's
gives
a
you good
durable
value,
machine. It's been a good value. It's cost me about 30 cents a drink to make 4,000, 5,000 lattes over the last 8 or 9 years. I did the math. I have a blog I'm working on that I had to do the math. I had to do a lot of thinking to figure that
wow,
out.
that's a lot of coffee. I don't
It's
I
a
don't.
lot of coffee.
Hmm. Well, it's good for you. Glad you got that all worked out.
I'm
Um,
excited. It
yeah.
was not that it's not that complicated, not that exciting, but I'm just glad I have a machine that I can repair instead of just something you can't buy parts for, like a Keurig or something where it's done, you throw it away, get a new one.
I mean, you could throw it away, or you could convert it to a plant watering machine.
Oh, how do you do that, Jeremy? Is
Well,
there? Can you link us to a video on how to do that?
there's a video out there somewhere that somebody who would be me, I guess, took apart his wife's Keurig machine, our Keurig machine when it wouldn't work anymore. I hooked up a Raspberry Pi to it and got it to cycle on a schedule.
Yeah.
The
Say
plant,
that it
plant.
only cost what today that would cost you $140 to upgrade that to an
Yeah,
automated plant waterer.
yeah. It seemed like
What a time to be alive.
what a time to be alive. Well, I was for whatever reason that didn't wasn't working anymore. I don't remember why exactly, but I tried to use any AT Tiny on it instead, just to do a simple timer on it. And for whatever reason, I couldn't get that to quite work correctly. I
What do you have in there? A little relay or something?
yeah, I think it was maybe a transistor,
'Cause
but I don't.
what you have to discover, Jeremy, is either Tasmota or ESP Home. That run on the ESP32. It has a little web interface that comes up. You just tell it what kind of device is on what pin, and then there's just a toggle button in there in the web
Okay,
interface to turn
and
it
yeah, I
on and
guess you
off.
could put it on a timer. That'd make things
Yeah,
pretty
it'll have
easy actually.
you could do timers in there too, but usually you hook that up to home automation like Home Assistant or something,
Okay,
and
yeah,
it'll tell
I
you when
had
it's watering and silly crazy stuff.
I
But it
had
does
Home
most of the
Assistant.
work for you, is why it's kind of cool.
Okay, yeah, I had Home Assistant running for quite a while, but then it stopped working for some reason, and I just haven't messed with it after that.
Well, that's
It
okay.
it
Not
was a bit
everybody
of
needs to automate everything.
that's true. I mean, it was a bit of it's a bit of a learning curve to use that. I'll just say that,
It is.
and I just didn't feel like learning it again. um, well, Pat, I guess another thing I wanted to talk about is I got sent a new keyboard. I assume you have a keyboard.
Oh, you didn't buy this.
I didn't buy this. Yeah, so yeah, full
Oh, I didn't
disclosure.
know that. Now I'm extra. Now I'm even more jealous.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I get the idea is I review stuff, and I'm I'm hopefully going to review this. I told him I pitched it to a couple places, and I'll do that. But I'm getting used to it now. But this keyboard, it's called a Ultimate Hacking Keyboard. I think it's what it's called. Have you heard about this, Pat?
Well, I don't know this one in particular, except for I googled it when you put it in our document.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to hold the whole thing up, but I'll hold half of it up, which is pretty amazing that I can hold half of it up at a time,
Yeah, it is.
because it's a split keyboard. So like half the keyboard is on your left and half is on your right. And in fact, I'll
Yeah.
well, I can't. It's
How
linked to.
how many
Let's see.
thumb keys do you have on there? That's what I want.
So yeah, the interesting thing is you've got there's a split up. So you've got basically your left space bar is the mod key and the right space bar is the space key, and then you've also got a cluster of three buttons that you can assign to whatever. So I've got them for delete, backspace, and escape, and it's also got a like little tiny little mouse like BlackBerry style mouse if you remember those, that you can use to like pan around and stuff. That's kind of like an add-on module you can put on. Like I've got another add-on module here,
A
which is
baby little
a
trackball.
little baby trackball. Yeah, I haven't really used this yet, and it's just. I guess the thing is, this is a keyboard. I think they call it what, a 60% keyboard. It doesn't have the
Uh,
numpad or
uh,
anything.
no numpad is a 10 keyless, a TKL.
A TKL.
Yeah,
Well,
60% has no function keys, no F keys.
no F keys. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't have any F keys either.
No
So
F
that's
keys.
been
Then you're somewhere around a 60%.
okay. So it's
If you
been
have F keys and no numpad, you're a 70 something percent,
okay.
75 or so.
So that's been a little bit hard to get used to. I mean, I don't want to say hard to get used to, but it's been just definitely a learning curve. I mean, I feel like I'm finally to the point where I'm not like, oh, where are my arrow keys? And because you can use there's like a mod key that gives you the F keys and the arrow keys and stuff like that. So it's just been kind of trying to remap everything in my head where everything goes, and then also you have
Yeah.
to reach over farther, and then I've got to see where it works with my JC Pro macro board. Because I've got that. I use that a lot
Yeah. Oh,
still.
you could stick that in the middle
Oh, I
between
could.
the. Yeah.
I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, it's a really neat thing. So it's definitely like a keyboard for keyboard heads if that's a
Yeah.
thing. But
I've been looking at all kinds of split keyboards, and I'm always tempted.
I mean, it's the thing is, even though there is a learning curve, the quality on this is just it's fantastic. I mean, I guess it makes it feel like I've been playing with toy keyboards before this,
Yeah,
and maybe that's a thing. It is a I don't know how much it goes for, but it is an expensive keyboard, but it lives up to that. You know what I mean? It's like, oh,
I do.
this is a this deserves to cost a lot of money. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's well made.
It's well made, and it's got a nice wooden um, thumb whatever wrist rest on it. And
Yeah,
again, I should put out there that I suppose I am, I got this for free, so I'm not, just
it was worth every penny.
it was absolutely worth every penny.
Yep.
But the
You,
thing is, when I got it, I was like, okay, this is split keyboard. It's a lot smaller. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. I might want to go back to the Ergo keyboard that I had before with the whatever the numpad and the arrow keys. But I don't think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm going to. I
I've
mean,
been trying to force everyone to give up the numpads because I think that is the most valuable piece of real estate on your desk. That space between the home row and your mouse.
yeah, you're probably
I
right.
I don't know what it's worth. I don't know what to value it at, but like function keys, I don't want to get rid of function keys because I don't need that space up in front of my keyboard. Well, like, what am I going to put there? But the farther I have to move my arm to get to my mouse, the more annoyed I'm going to be.
That's a very good point. Yeah, so it's a trade off for sure, but it's I mean, I guess the
Now,
other thing you could do is I guess you could probably remap things because remap all this stuff pretty much any way you want. I think you could remap some of the keys into a numpad if you wanted to, but I think that might not be the right thing to do.
yeah. Well, the term most, unless you're an accountant, you're not typing that many numbers. I, I,
Yeah,
yeah, you know what the stupid thing I did when I didn't have a numpad anymore?
what's that?
I did not realize how much of a habit I had of reaching over and tapping the numpad enter key with my thumb. I'd be on the mouse and do something and then just reach over and go clunk.
Really?
And now that's an arrow key. So I'd just reach over and I'd be hitting an arrow key for no reason on this
That's
keyboard I have.
that's
And I'd be
interesting.
like, oh, and then I have to reach it. It took me weeks to stop doing that.
I haven't really gotten into it, but like I was holding up this little trackball. You can link this in.
Yeah.
You can hook this and other accessories into the like a basically expansion port on it. And I was thinking this would be really convenient, like on when I had ThinkPad, I had the little like nub thing in the middle, so you could just like if you need to
Yeah.
make little adjustments, you could do that.
This is a family show, so I won't say what I used to call that. We all used to
Sure.
call that.
All right. But yeah, I haven't I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll hook it up again. But the thing is, you hook this in, and you're losing real estate. So
Yeah,
it's all about trade offs with this.
it
Any
really is.
keyboard, I guess.
And the lateral real estate is the most valuable thing on your desk, left and right.
Yeah, you're probably right. And maybe you could be like a office if you felt like having a job in the future. Maybe you could be an office ergonomics consultant.
A guru, an
Like you
office guru. Is that a thing?
Yeah, probably is. I mean, honestly though, it seems like that's something companies should probably give more thought to because you produce,
Some of
it's
them
just
do.
some
Some
of
of
them
them are
do.
doing a pretty good job.
Okay. Last non company that I didn't own that I worked for, they were, if any sort of office equipment you wanted to get, you just kind of went through the catalog and got it. So that was good. But it's not
Yeah.
like they had a specialist come in and say, oh, you need to do this and this and this, and it's just fine. They were a good company to work for, but you just from their perspective, if they get 1% more productivity out of everybody, that's probably money well
Yeah,
spent.
but I've worked for so many places where they wouldn't even care about 1%. They care. Like spending $200 to put a second monitor on everybody's desk gets easily gets $200 worth of productivity about just about anybody. But so many companies are stingy about that and don't want to spend a couple of $100 on a second monitor
This doesn't make any
or
sense to
third
me.
monitor or however many. It doesn't matter how many.
Yeah, no, it's it seems to me that office equipment like that is the best investment you can make. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, I myself, since I own my own company, I definitely have what I want.
JC Macro Worldwide.
JC Macro Worldwide. Yeah, I have probably the most. I have my own. I have my own. I have a macro pad with my name on it. I mean, how much more
You do.
customized can you get than that? So, um,
Are you going to branch out into keyboards?
no, I'll tell you what. I think I did a good job in the JC Pro Macro two, yeah, two. But it's very much like a kit thing. Like very much. It's got the DIY ethos. Ethos, is that the right pronunciation?
Sure.
I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, that's at least one correct pronunciation. I don't think it's illegal
it
to do it either way.
it's good for what it is. But I feel like it can't match. It, I don't think it can really match the quality of this keyboard that I have right now. So I
Yep.
guess I guess for me it's like I built the JC Pro Macro because it was just kind of something I wanted, honestly, and it's like, oh, maybe other people would
Yeah.
want it, and they did. But I don't really I don't really have any desire to design a keyboard.
Do you want to know the stupid thing that's kept me from getting a split keyboard?
What's that?
Especially one that I really want a lot of extra thumb buttons. But whenever I fire up a video game, I have to move my left hand over from ASDF one key over so I can use WAS and D. And as soon as I do that, now my thumb is not, if there's a lot of spacebar keys, my thumb is no longer over the spacebar. Everything is out of whack. I don't know how I would deal with that.
Yeah, no, I get that, and there are some like if I'm trying to have to like I'm having to kind of relearn a few things, like if I'm using KiCad or KiCad, depending on your whatever on your
I'm
set.
told that is supposed to be KeyCAD.
Okay, well,
The internet told me.
the internet told you. But
Yep.
if I'm doing that, like now it's like with a split keyboard. If I want to hit the M key, I've got to move my left hand over more. And it's like, oh, or I could do that on my macro pad when I got it configured for that. So it's just kind of like, you kind of had to relearn like what's the most efficient way to do things. And
Yep.
I think I guess maybe the typical person that would be interested in a keyboard like this is probably excited, maybe even excited to learn new things like that. I don't
I
know.
am. I'm very excited to injure my wrists and fingers less.
Yeah,
My my pinkies get tired if I have too long of a day.
yeah. Well, that's okay, I
Yeah, we've
guess.
been doing this a long time, Jeremy. With keyboards and things.
Yeah. Well,
Well, haven't you? You're we're both getting to be elderly or middle aged or something.
well,
I saw a thing on the internet. Middle age starts at 35. It said
really.
officially.
Well, I guess it depends on how long you plan to live.
Yeah, it does. Well, yeah, there's average. Whatever the average is, 78 or something is the male average. So somewhere in there, 35 to 50 something is middle aged, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so. So, well, I guess it's better than the
Over the
alternative,
hill,
right?
they say, Jeremy. We hit the top and we're on our way walking down to whatever's down there waiting for us.
Oh man, well that's a happy thought. Do, um, well, on a maybe a happier note,
Ooh.
according to your notes, it says there's a lot of amazing stuff happening with 3D printers, and
Oh, there are.
I would enjoy talking about your new printer. So
Yeah, you got a new printer, Jeremy.
I
And
did.
holy crap, did you see Brian McMoses
I did not.
ordered ordered a 3D printer yesterday?
I thought he was I thought he was MC Moses. I thought he was like his rap
Well,
name.
there's no Mick.
Oh,
There's a story behind that, but it's
that's fine.
well,
Really.
I'll tell it to you because it's real short. Me and
Okay.
Brian were playing a video game, Team Fortress 2, and we were on the same team. and I got switched to the other team because they were doing bad and everybody was quitting, and they even the teams out. And I hear this kid, probably 13 years old, he sounds like, on his microphone. I hear him, and he's saying, "Boy, we got to watch out for that Brian McMoses guy." I don't remember why, but like it's not even McMo. There's no Mick in there. It's just there's a C in there, but there's no Mick. But this kid didn't know, but he was mad. He was. I wish I was recording. Sometimes I record the games we play, and I wish I had that because that was awesome. It's hysterical.
That is pretty funny. Um, well, but what about Brian Moses?
Oh, he ordered the big bamboo X1 carbon with the multi-material module up on top.
Oh yeah, people are excited about that, but it's a pretty expensive printer though, isn't it?
It's Yes, it only costs a little more than an assembled Prusa Mark III. Not that, a few $100s more.
Okay. Well, how much? How
But it's
much
a
are we
lot
talking?
more printer than a Mark III.
How much are we talking about? What's a Mark III go for?
My Mark III after taxes and import from wherever they
Like
come from in Europe was
Czechoslovakia or something?
1150.
Wait,
Mine was
well,
1150, and I think
it
the
definitely
bamboo
does.
is
It
four.
definitely doesn't come from Czechoslovakia because
Is that true?
that hasn't been a country for like
Is
10 years,
Oh
15.
no, well the Czech Republic. I'm sorry, I heard you say Czech. Yeah, I hear things and they just go through my head, Jeremy. Isn't it? Are they in the Czech Republic or Poland?
Poland sounds a little better. I mean, not that I have
Well, I
anything
don't know if it sounds
against.
better, but
I don't have anything against the Czech Republic. Either is fine, but I don't think it comes from. I think it comes from
Czech
Poland.
Republic.
Oh,
They're in Prague.
well, I was right. So we could check it out.
Yeah, check it out. But the Prusa Mark 3S was about 1150 after all the fees and everything. And it
Okay,
was you pull it out of the box, you take a few pieces of cardboard out of it, and you hit print, and it goes.
really,
That
that's
was
nice.
yeah. And the same thing with Brian's printer, but I think it's $1,400 with the multi-material, and
Oh,
it prints fast. It is a machine. I can't wait to see it.
that's pretty nice. Yeah, that's great. Um, yeah, the multi-material is a great upgrade for sure. The one I got though, I got the what did I get? I got the Ender 3. I got the Ender 3 V2 Neo, which is like, well, why don't you just call it Ender 3.5 or Ender 4? But I think that might
Well,
be a
it's got to
different
have a
thing.
cool name. You
Yeah,
always have to
but
have a cool name.
the great thing is it's not wasn't quite pulled out. You gotta and print. You gotta like assemble a few things, but it's and not too bad. Maybe an hour of assembly time, and after watching the video on it and whatever, studying it up, and this thing has been printing almost flawlessly, and it's I think it was $300, and it's like
That's fantastic.
no, it's not going to be as good as the bamboo for sure, and maybe not even as good as
That's
the
okay.
Prusa, but I bet it's 90% as good as the Prusa, and
Yeah.
maybe 50% as good as the bamboo. So,
The
for the
printer I'm
price,
excited about didn't come out until after you got yours, or I would have told you for sure to try it out.
what's that?
This new Soval SV06. Soval's been around for a few years making decent printers, but they have essentially cloned the Mark III, the Prusa Mark III, all the features on the Mark III, but they're selling it for $300. Has like all the same sensors. It's a slightly bigger, but I think it's a 300 millimeter square bed.
Okay, nice. I guess
It's
the thing I was and thing I was I guess excited about it that the the V2 Neo, the Ender V2 Neo. I had a friend told me how good the Ender was, and then I think Ryan at Retro Built Games, I thought he tweeted out something about that, and I was like, well, you know what, for $300, that sounds awesome. And I
yeah.
had a printer
A
that
lot of folks in our Discord have Ender 3 varieties. There's been a lot of Ender 3s,
yeah, well, and I
but
guess
it's popular.
the thing I was excited about, I had the I guess I still have it, a Monoprice Maker Ultimate 2, which I thought had some neat features, but I don't think I ever quite got it tweaked in how I should, and it's not like there's the same ecosystem out there. Whereas the Ender 3, there's just so many people have them, you can get so much more input on it, and I maybe didn't value that enough.
Yeah,
Although
it's huge.
Although I guess I got the ultimate for for a review, so that I'm not really out that much money. Although I did have to, did have to
You had
buy
to do a
some.
lot of work, though.
Yeah, no,
Don't
that's true.
underestimate that.
Yeah, so it's
I know what I used to bill out for when I did work I was, professionally, respected for at the time. You know, I, I tend to, I consider that to be my value always. And I would like all the work I do to be.
so
Yeah.
anyway, for the setup time and everything, I think the Ender 3 is a Ender 3 Neo V2 Neo is a fantastic printer. That's my opinion at
I
this point.
believe you.
So,
I always hear nice things about all the Ender 3 and even all the Ender 3 clones I hear nice things about.
yeah,
It's
well,
probably the
even
most cloned printer now.
you think so?
I do.
Could
I
be.
know there's Prusa clones, but they're still expensive enough that nobody wants to buy a clone. They want to buy generally they want to buy the real thing if they're going to spend that much.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So I don't know. Well, anything else? Anything else you want to talk about, Pat? I think we.
Well, I lost our quarterly update page here.
Oh, okay. Well, I
There it
guess.
is. Yeah. I'm I'm pleased with everything we've hit on.
Okay. Yeah, I guess. I guess another thing, just thinking about like my interface designs and stuff, Raspberry Pi. I made a capacitive input. I'm working on that. I've actually got something ordered for it, a capacitive input for the RP2040. So I'm hoping with the Pico, I'm hoping I can get that maybe for sale before too long. So it'll be like a
Nice.
anyway. So I've got a lot of other projects that I'm excited about, but we've been joining on for a while. So I think
We have been. Now, Brian just started his giveaway for his DIY NAS for this year.
well, now what's a
And
NAS?
a network attached storage device. It's a
Okay,
little server. The one he built is about, it's like a big shoebox with 6 hard drives in it.
okay,
And it's a neat
Y-
little machine. But what I really wanted to say about that, because we don't do a good job pimping it out over here, because of the giveaway, people have been flooding into our Discord server for the last 36 hours or so. I
really?
keep having to say hello to new people. So we should be telling folks here on the podcast, you should stop by our Discord server
Yeah,
and come hang out with us.
for sure. Yeah, you'll find Pat there. You'll find me there occasionally.
Yeah, there's a
Um,
link in the bottom
okay, and
somewhere. There'll be a
it's
link somewhere on our podcast pages. There will be links to our Discord server.
and that's the Butterwhat Discord,
It
right?
is the Butterwhat Discord. If you go to butterwhat.com/discord, it will forward you to the correct
Okay,
Discord. And Discord is like, it's a chat room kind of a thing. It's like IRC, but for people who don't know how to work IRC. So it's
sure,
fantastic.
sure. Well, yeah. I guess is there anything else you want to tell people about, Pat, before we kind of get a
Well, really, Discord. Come to Discord.
okay? Yeah, come to Discord. Yeah, I'll put my name in for that. That'd be good too. You can find me on YouTube, etc. Find me on the Creative Invent podcast. I just we didn't mention this in the coffee break because we didn't really do a traditional one, obviously. But please give us a thumbs up or subscribe, whatever.
Oh,
Anything,
yeah.
however you
I
listen to
love a
us.
thumbs up.
If you give us like a good rating, I think last time we mentioned I've been listening on Podcast Addict, that app, and I was like, oh, you can actually give them a thumbs up. So I gave myself one, and you know that's good.
That's the way to do it, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
Jeremy, I think I could say this live on camera here because I'm going to have to send him another email. Last year, we invited Zach Friedman onto our podcast.
okay.
And he said, yes, email me back in, I think he said January or something, or I don't remember when. But I emailed him back and nothing. I heard nothing back. And, in my head, I'm like, I'm saying mean things in my head. Then a few days ago, he posted a video. His apartment was literally flooded. The water heater in the apartment above him exploded.
Really?
Oh, the video. It's so traumatic, Jeremy. And he's talking about the timeline. I'm thinking, oh, man. I emailed him right as that was happening, I think. Like I
Well,
would have ignored me too that week. It is so bad.
okay. Well, you know what?
So I'm gonna
We,
email him again, and hopefully he'll talk to us again. But oh, I feel so bad for him
you know,
watching that video.
we always give people a pass that don't come on the show because
Oh yeah, I'm never mad.
they're not required. But
No.
we give Zach like an extra pass and good wishes because
Oh, oh, I feel so bad. I mean, I wasn't really mad at him,
yeah,
but
I understand.
you don't hear back, and you're like
Well, you're
from
like, oh,
anybody, like
well, you're
anybody.
like,
I'm
oh,
like, well, what did I
well,
do?
I mean, people are busy. We understand that, and
Yeah,
we have some fantastic guests though. So, you know,
we've had so
we
many
can't complain.
fantastic. All of our guests have been
So,
fantastic,
and
Jeremy.
speaking of that, we should plug it. We have recorded a video podcast with Max Maker, and
Oh, we didn't
you've
publish that yet.
no, because you said I thought we were gonna wait
Yeah,
till after this.
yeah. Well, that's fine. I don't even know what day it is, Jeremy.
Okay, because yeah, we were
It's
gonna
the
do
middle
like
of March. You told me.
the idea was we recorded it. We asked him, and he's like, "Yeah, let's do it Saturday." It's like, okay, and then I was like,
Yeah.
"Well, should we publish it or should we wait till we do the live stream?" And he said, "Well,
Oh yeah.
we'll stay on the
Well,
Thursday schedule."
we recorded with Max Maker 3 days after we recorded with Retro Built Games. We
Right,
did the recording.
right.
That's too soon to publish twice.
Anyway, you guys are, hopefully you're familiar with him from earlier episodes, but this
Yeah.
time he's got he's got a trash train project that we were so excited to talk to him about.
It's delightful.
It's
Do you know what I'm
delightful.
upset about, Jeremy?
What's that?
I'm not upset about Zach not emailing me back because his apartment flooded. It was so
Sure.
bad. But Max Maker is not his real name. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. What is
You
it?
knew that. He told us that
Okay.
the last
Okay.
time, 2 years ago, when he was back
I
on the
do
show.
know that. I do.
You do that. Well, I didn't know that until he told us, and I was like, I was very let down. Well, I mean, I expected Maker was not really his last name. I
Well, yeah.
was
I mean,
pretty certain of that.
you wouldn't think an American would be named that, much less a German guy. You
Yeah.
don't. You
Well, I
you're
didn't
not
think he'd make up both names. I thought just half of the name was made up.
Oh, okay. Because yeah, Max. Is
Like if I
pretty
made
German.
myself be Pat Maker, that seems legal. But I'm not sure if it's legal to change both my names.
I think it's okay.
Do you?
I'm.
Well,
You know what?
German law
I'm
might be different too. I
the Bundesliga or whatever, however you say it. I have no idea.
I don't think you could say that on TV, Jeremy.
Maybe not. I can't say it on TV because I don't even know what it would be. So,
No. I don't even
most-
know what you said. I made that up.
Yeah, most of the German words I know come from World War II documentaries, so they're not. Usually they.
I know Gesundheit,
What does that mean?
health. That's what you say instead of God bless you.
Oh, health. That makes
Health.
sense. I had no idea what that meant.
I know what this means in sign language.
And you're waving your hand. Is it snail?
Do I have to get back farther? There's a
You're waving one hand and you've got
Yeah.
like a bull's thing on the other.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And this is out the other end. This
Well, that
is
might not
talking
be-
out the other end of the it's
That
bull
might not-
crap. I'm not allowed to say what it really is because Jeremy says we're a family entertainment.
I thought it was maybe like a snail, because it's like waving its.
Oh, that'd be pretty good. No,
Yeah.
it's bull crap.
Okay.
And I know bacon
Okay.
and
Well, that's-
popcorn. I don't know how many times you're supposed to do the popcorn one.
So you're just sticking
But-
your fingers out, up and
Like
down.
the
Yeah,
little
that,
pop,
that
pop,
makes
pop, pop, pop.
that makes sense. And but yeah, that makes sense. And I know what kinder is. It's children because I went to kindergarten.
Oh
as
yeah.
you hopefully
You know what
did.
garden is, too.
It's-
It's the
yeah. Well, it's probably a good place to end it, Pat. What do you think
yeah.
about that?
I think you're probably right.
So yeah,
Oh,
thanks
and
for
PJ Henley says hello. Hello,
Oh,
guys.
hello,
I will.
PJ.
It
But
doesn't say how long ago I missed that, PJ. I'm sorry. I'm a little
Yeah.
slow.
But thanks for watching and listen. Well, tune in definitely. If you're subscribed to the podcast, et cetera, and next third Thursday or thereabouts, we're gonna have a fantastic episode with Max Maker, and he's gonna talk about his trash
Nice.
train, and it's gonna be fun.
I can't wait
So-
to watch again.
Yeah.
I learned a lot when we had that conversation.
Yeah.
Are
All
you
right.
waving? Is this goodbye?
Yeah, I
I'm
guess it's
supposed to say
goodbye.
goodbye.
See you later.
Oh, I'm doing a bad job. You, everybody have a good night.
Good night.